Good morning, Little Masters, and welcome back to today's Tolkien Times, a Prancing Pony podcast production. I'm the Man of the West, and it's time to wrap up Week 85 with Silmarillion Saturday. Now, these Saturdays are our chance to revisit the history and legends of the Elder Days, whether from the Silmarillion, unfinished tales, or more. Let's go and get back into the music that created the very fabric of the universe, the Ainur, as we see the individual work performed by some of the Valar. Now to water had that Ainur, whom the elves call Ulmo, turned his thought, and of all most deeply was he instructed by Ilúvatar in music. But of the airs and winds Manwe most had pondered, who is the noblest of the Ainur. Of the fabric of earth had Aule thought, to whom Ilúvatar had given skill and knowledge scarce less than to Melkor. But the delight and pride of Aule is in the deed of making, and in the thing made, and neither in possession nor in his own mastery. Wherefore he gives and hoards not, and is free from care, passing ever on to some new work. And Ilúvatar spoke to Ulmo and said, Seest thou not how here in this little realm in the deeps of time Melkor hath made war upon thy province? He hath bethought him of bitter cold immoderate, and yet hath not destroyed the beauty of thy fountains, nor of thy clear pools. Behold the snow and the cunning work of frost. Melkor hath devised heats and fire without restraint, and hath not dried up thy desire, nor utterly quelled the music of the sea. Behold rather the height and glory of the clouds, and the ever-changing mists, and listen to the fall of rain upon the earth. And in these clouds thou art drawn nearer to Manwe thy friend, whom thou lovest. Then Ulmo answered, Truly, water is become now fairer than my heart imagined. Neither had my secret thought conceived the snowflake, nor in all my music was contained the falling of the rain. I will seek Manwe, that he and I may make melodies forever to thy delight. And Manwe and Ulmo have from the beginning been allied, and in all things have served most faithfully the purpose of Ilúvatar. But even as Ulmo spoke, and while the Ainur were yet gazing upon this vision, it was taken away and hidden from their sight. And it seemed to them that in that moment they perceived a new thing, darkness, which they had not known before except in thought. But they had become enamored of the beauty of the vision and engrossed in the unfolding of the world which came there to being, and their minds were filled with it. For the history was incomplete, and the circles of time not full wrought when the vision was taken away. And some have said that the vision ceased ere the fulfillment of the dominion of men and the fading of the firstborn. Wherefore, though the music is over all, the Valar have not seen as with sight the later ages or the ending of the world. Then there was unrest among the Ainur, but Ilúvatar called to them and said, I know the desire of your minds, that what ye have seen should verily be, not only in your thought, but even as ye yourselves are, and yet other. Therefore I say, Ea, let these things be, and I will send forth into the void the flame imperishable, and it shall be at the heart of the world, and the world shall be, and those of you that will may go down into it. And suddenly the Ainur saw afar off a light, as it were a cloud with a living heart of flame, and they knew that this was no vision only, but that Ilúvatar had made a new thing, Ea, the world that is. Thus it came to pass that of the Ainur some abode still with Ilúvatar beyond the confines of the world, but others, and among them many of the greatest and most fair, took the leave of Ilúvatar and descended into it. But this condition Ilúvatar made, or it is the necessity of their love, that their power should thenceforward be contained and bounded in the world, to be within it forever until it is complete, so that they are its life and it is theirs. And therefore they are named the Valar, the powers of the world. I love what we get here about the difference between Aule and Melkor. Aule is a true sub-creator, understanding that the act of sub-creation does not bestow domination over that which is made, which is sub-created. Melkor, though, wants to usurp the role of Ilúvatar as creator proper, but it's precisely because he wants power and dominion. Now, for those who have read the Silmarillion and know about Aule and his subcreation of the dwarves, you know how this really sets us up nicely for the chat that he has with Ilúvatar at the time. Then we get this incredibly tangible example of a concept we talked about a few weeks back, SPBMI, or shall prove but mine instrument. Ilúvatar explains to Ulmo, look, you did these good things with water, and Melkor tried to destroy it, but it's resulted in snow and frost and rain and clouds. He can't destroy your realm of water. And more than that, you now have an opportunity to be closer to your friend Manwë. And that results in this statement of Ulmo and Manwë being allies and serving Ilúvatar most faithfully, which of course leads me to wonder who, outside of Melkor obviously, is not serving Ilúvatar as faithfully as these two. Also, though, we're going to see in our readings with Tuor coming up that Ulmo sees his role a bit differently. Then there's this incredible transition from vision to darkness and then into actual physical reality. Ea. Ilúvatar speaks the universe into actual existence and opens it for business. Any of the Ainur that want to go on down can do exactly that. But if you do, you're not coming back. It's a one-way ticket. And folks, that does it for this week's Silmarillion Saturday. Thank you for joining me, and please come back next week as Manwë has words for his brother Melkor. Please visit patreon.com/Tolkien Times to see how you can get an ad-free feed, bonus episodes, and be a part of my content council to help me decide what I'll talk about next series. Podcast listeners, subscribe to the show in your podcast apps. On YouTube, subscribe to the channel to get all of the PPP productions. And everybody, please be sure you're following @PrancingPonyPod on your social media. Finally, as Faramir says, go with the goodwill of all good men.